Y'all too kind. Thank you. So first and foremost, I just want to thank all of the incredible speakers who came before me. Y'all know that there is a fighter out of the 13th district named Donovan McKinney, right? And we're gonna send him to Congress, right? And of course, the woman who needs no introduction, who's been fighting that fight here in Michigan for way too long and fights that fight better than almost anybody, our Congresswoman Rashida Tlaib. The Dean of Working People, the President of the UAW, Shawn Fain. An incredible fighter I got to meet back in 2018 when we were fighting that fight, who's been leading that fight on the national level, the incredible Congresswoman from the Bronx, Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. And of course, the man who has been leading the fight for Medicare for all, who has been the Jeremiah of the Senate, who has the will to stand up and speak the truth even when it's hard, our incredible senator out of Vermont, Bernie Sanders. People's senator. Now, some of y'all might have noticed that we're up against $50 million of outside spending. And so we're getting prepared to do some spending of our own. And so I need your patience with me because we got to do some lines for TV, all right? You see all these cameras? Y'all are about to be the stars of our next ad. So I'm going to bring back out Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, and we're going to do some lines, all right? All right, so when you hear me say the line, all right, y'all gotta give me some noise, okay? And there's gonna be about a dozen lines, some from me, some from the Congresswoman, all right? But I gotta hear some noise like you never heard it before, all right? And I promise you, I got a barn burner of a speech after this. Ready? Trump donors, billionaires, and AIPAC are spending $50 million in lies to buy this election. All right, next one. Are we gonna let 50 million in lies steal this election? Hell no. Are we gonna let Trump donors, billionaires, and AIPAC lies steal this election? Come on, Michigan, let's do this. Y'all too nice. All right, I'm gonna do two more, okay? And then the Congressman's gonna do something. Are you with me? Michigan, are you with me? All right, ready?
All right, ready for some magic, everybody? The powerful are spending $50 million against a good man that I am proud to know. Billionaires, Trump donors, and AIPAC are spending $50 million disparaging a good man. Michigan, Are we gonna let big money buy an election? Michigan, this is your moment. Get out and vote. We need you. Michigan needs you. Our country needs you. Your vote matters. Young people will decide this election. They're counting on you staying home, but we will not be counted out. All right, now let's hear this man give a barn burner of a speech. Everyone, let's hear it for Abdul El-Sayed.
All right, y'all, let's get down to business. We got some business to cover, huh? Money out of? Money in your? Medicare for? Let them hear him the next town down. Money out of? Money in your? Medicare for? Now listen, y'all, it just shouldn't be this hard. Shouldn't be this hard to afford a second bag of groceries. Shouldn't be this hard to pay your rent. Shouldn't be this hard to believe you could ever own a home. Shouldn't be this hard to stay in your home if you're over 65. Shouldn't be this hard to see a doctor in the richest, most powerful country in the world. Shouldn't be this hard to pay your taxes and know that that money is going to be spent on you rather than to drop bombs on somebody else and their kids. Now, y'all know I was never supposed to run for office. I mean, my parents gave me an 11-letter first name. It's got sounds that come out of parts of people's throats most people don't know they have. Thank you. I like it too. I wanted to be a doctor. I wanted to be a doctor since I can remember, because I would spend my summers, days like this, in Alexandria, Egypt, where both my parents immigrated from. And on the trip there, it'd take me 15 hours to get there, but I would travel 10 years difference in life expectancy. And that was written in the bodies of my family. My grandmother, smartest, wisest person I have ever met in my whole life, never got to go to school. She was the 9th of 14, born and raised in a time and a place where little girls like her were denied that right. She raised 6 kids of 8 to whom she gave birth. 2 died before their first birthday. An aunt and uncle I never got to meet, a sister and a brother that my dad watched pass before he turned 5 years old. My grandmother, when I would be in Egypt, she would remind me, you're not any smarter, any better looking, any more athletic, any harder working than any of your cousins. But you might have the most important gift of all. And I asked her, what's that? She'd tell me, you get to go back to America at the end of the summer. Your cousins have to stay here. And she's right. I had the gift of incredible public education. Got vaccinated against diseases that my aunt and uncle died of before their first birthdays. I got to go to an amazing public university. I got my medical education paid for by the federal government at the NIH. Those are opportunities my cousins could not have dreamed of. And that's the life that America gave me. People like to tell me, oh, you must hate America. In fact, we had one of those come in today. Oh, you must hate America. I love America. Right, USA. But to love America is to be honest with America. See, I didn't have to go 15 hours to travel 10 years difference in life expectancy. I could go 15 minutes from where I grew up, and I would cross the same 10-year difference in life expectancy. And the very same America that gave me all of these incredible gifts denied them from children growing up 15 minutes away whose families had been here far longer than mine. I love America, but I love America enough to be honest about what America owes all of her children. I went off to medical school to learn how to heal, only to realize that it was our healthcare system that too often was part of the problem. I was learning all this physiology about how illness manifests in a body, but watching as my patients were exposed to the pathophysiology of our politics just outside. Air, water, the inability to go to a good school, all things that dictate whether or not you get sick or you stay healthy. And watching people exposed to dirty air and unclean water walk into a healthcare system more eager to spit them out than to take care of them made me realize that I didn't want to work in the healthcare system, I wanted to work on the healthcare system. So, when we all graduated medical school, and yes, I did graduate medical school, and all my classmates went and pursued residencies like normal people to become specialists in medicine, I went into public health. Go public health, yeah, that's right. Hey, if y'all don't like explosive diarrhea, yay, public health, huh? Can't even eat the lettuce. Gotta breathe the like wildfire air. And they appointed RFK Jr. to be the health director. You laugh so you don't cry. But, you know, it's no wonder that the dude whose best public health advice is that you got to drink raw milk is overseeing all of this. He said it. I got the opportunity to come home to rebuild the health department in this incredible city after it had been shut down. When the state rolled through here, imposed emergency management, and threw the public health department overboard. The same emergency management that made the decision to change the water in Flint and caused the Flint water crisis. They shut down a 185-year-old health department in a city with a higher infant mortality rate than my father's native Egypt. Now, we rolled up our sleeves. Working together with Detroiters, we rebuilt that department. Put glasses on thousands of kids. Took on some of the biggest corporate polluters in our state. Had every school, daycare, and Head Start tested for lead in the water. Built a program to take on maternal and child health disparities called Sister Friends. And I'm grateful today that that very same health department is being run by a young man who was a fellow of mine way back about 10 years ago. And they're still fighting the public health fight for this incredible city. I got to lead Wayne County's Department of Health, Human and Veteran Services. We put Narcan in vending machines for free. Built a program to provide new small businesses free health insurance. Put air quality monitors all over this county. And when we found out that our county ranked number 8 for medical debt nationwide, we set aside $7 million to erase up to $700 million in medical debt. Here's my favorite. They're like, well, it hasn't erased it all yet. My question is just how much medical debt have you erased? But let's be honest. At the end of the day, so much of this work sits downstream of a politics that leaves us having to clean up the messes that the politicians in D.C. create. And I'm never going to forget the day sitting in my office when this administration froze federal funds. Y'all remember that? Feels like 10 years ago. It was about a year ago. And I'm trying to figure out how to make sure that WIC checks keep going out to put food on the table for moms and babies. How to make sure people don't miss the appointment they've been waiting for at the federally qualified health center. Trying to make sure that vaccines can still go in arms. And I get a notification on my phone that after his long career, our current U.S. Senator Gary Peters is no longer seeking re-election. And I told myself, you know, maybe it's time for us to get a U.S. Senator who actually wants to go and fight. Now, y'all know this is not my first rodeo. I ran for governor back in 2018. It was the first time that orange gentleman had been elected. And I told myself, you know what? I know I might be 32, but let's go big or go home. I went big, and then I went home. But we earned 340,000 votes. We got outspent 7-1, but we were 2-1 more efficient than our opponent who won, and 3-1 more efficient than the guy that Donovan's about to kick out of Congress. And we said something in that race I think now has matured, which is that Donald Trump is not himself the disease of our politics. He's just the worst symptom of the disease of our politics. The disease is the system that allows big corporations, billionaires, special interests like AIPAC to buy and sell politicians to do their bidding instead of ours. We have to pay more for all we pay for, get paid less for the work we do, and watch as our tax dollars get misappropriated to drop bombs and buy tanks abroad rather than to invest in schools and healthcare here at home. So we're running a simple campaign. We want money out of? Put money in your? Pass Medicare for? And look, that campaign's taken us to 110 different cities now, 475 public events. And people say the same things. You can be in a living room in Lansing, a church here in Detroit, a VFW hall in Escanaba, a park in Grand Rapids. People ask you the same things. When am I going to be able to afford my health care? Why does it feel like I'm working twice as hard to get half as far? Why do I keep driving all over the same stupid pothole they told me they were going to fix? Why do I pay my taxes to kill other people when my own kid deserves a better school? We got an opportunity in this race to fight for what we need and deserve. It's a pretty crazy thing that in the year of our Lord, 2026, I am the only candidate for U.S. Senate who is not taking a dime of corporate money to run my campaign and never will. And frankly, Detroit, I think that should be illegal. Because ask yourself, if a Democrat is funded by DTE and a Republican is funded by DTE, it doesn't matter which one wins, DTE wins. If a Democrat takes money from Blue Cross and a Republican takes money from Blue Cross, you know who wins? Blue Cross wins. If a Democrat takes money from AIPAC and a Republican takes money from AIPAC, AIPAC wins. So if we're serious about putting ourselves back in the center of our politics, we've got to be serious about getting money out of politics in the first place. We need to stand up to Citizens United and finally end the chokehold that corporations have had on our politics for far too long. Now, you heard from the indomitable Shawn Fain, who reminded us what we can have when we're willing to stand up and fight. Unions built the middle class. Unions built the 40-hour work week. Unions built the weekend. I don't get one anymore, but we built it. Unions built the fact that our kids go to school instead of going to work. And unions can build it again when we're willing to stand with unions. So it is time for us to stand with our union sisters and brothers. We gotta pass that PRO Act. We've gotta normalize union organizing in every sector of American life. And while we're at it, let's stand up to the corporations who tell us that there's no more money for workers. Let's ban stock buybacks. And I don't know about you all, but I think NAFTA was a bad idea. I think USMCA wasn't much better. And as much as I cannot stand Donald Trump's approach to tariffs, which is, like all things, ham-fisted, chaotic, and self-serving, I actually think there's a role for targeted tariffs to protect our working sisters and brothers in this country. Now, there's no coincidence that in an era where union participation is near an all-time low, we're watching more and more billionaires get spit out of this economy. And I don't know about you all, but I think it's a ridiculous thing that it's easier for a billionaire to make a second $1 billion than it is for somebody to make their first 50,000. Now, y'all know how many billionaires you can make, or how many millionaires you can make for one billionaire? 1,000 of them. And they're out here trying to protect billionaires. I don't know, I'd rather have 1,000 millionaires than one billionaire. But more importantly, I think billionaires ought to pay their fair share. If you tax a billionaire at 8%, you know what they still are? Still a billionaire. Your kids are gonna be rich. Maybe you could pay your fair share so the rest of our kids can get to go to good schools and travel functional roads and get good health care. So it is high past time for us to stand up to the billionaire class and tax them their wealth. Now every single thing you gotta buy feels like it's getting more and more expensive. And that's because a few corporations get to control every single sector of American life. And they use their power to rig our economy to force us to pay more. They literally pick our pockets so their CEO can make more next year. And I think it is time for us to take on price gouging. I think it is time for us to take on monopolies and oligopolies. I think it is time for us to stand up to corporate power. And I think it is time for us to start enforcing our policies on the books to make sure that no corporation can control prices on us, to pick our pockets to enrich their CEOs and their shareholders. Now, there's one last point. You don't have to go too far from here to see a school that looks like it did 50 years ago. Every time you talk about trying to rebuild a school, they ask you, how are you gonna pay for that? I don't know about you all, but I don't pay my taxes to buy another country a bomb or a tank. I pay my taxes so that all our kids get to go to good schools and get good health care. So it is time for us in this country to stand up and decide that we are no longer going to send unconditional foreign military aid to foreign governments. Not Israel, not Egypt, not Jordan, not Saudi Arabia. I want my tax dollars in Michigan. I want good schools in Michigan. I want good roads in Michigan. I want health care in Michigan. I want child care in Michigan. I want my money spent in Michigan. And no, they're gonna try and tell you, oh, it must be you hate somebody. No, it is not because I hate anybody. It's because I love everybody. And I just want to be clear about one thing. I love and revere and deeply appreciate Judaism and the Jewish people. And I love and revere and deeply appreciate the Palestinian people and their history and their culture and their tradition. And I love and I revere our kids here at home who deserve better schools and health care. So forgive me if I want to keep our tax dollars here to buy schools and health care for our kids here, rather than send them to a foreign government to foreclose on the possibility of Palestinian self-determination and do genocide and apartheid. It's not about hating anyone, it's about loving everyone. And then let's be clear. I'm proud of the work we did on medical debt. I really am. But medical debt shouldn't exist in the first place. A third of American households holding debt because they went to see a doctor when they were sick. $225 billion of medical debt. That is more than the GDP of half the states in this country in medical debt. And we can wipe away all of that medical debt. And I just want to give you all some numbers here, okay? You can erase all the medical debt in this country for a penny on the dollar. So if you're doing the math, $225 billion, you can erase for what? About $2.25 billion? I want you to think about how much we are wasting dropping bombs in foreign countries. I don't know if you were watching, but the other individual who would like to be the Democratic nominee for the US Senate just took a vote to send more than that to a foreign government last week. We gotta be serious, y'all. And then we've gotta be serious about the fact that nobody should incur medical debt again in the future. And the best single way to prevent that from happening is to finally meet the unmet promise of America and guarantee everybody health care through Medicare for all. Now look, I know I'm not supposed to run for office. Got the wrong name? Apparently, if you pray like this and not like this, pray the wrong way. I got the wrong profession, but I'm also not gonna stand here and tell you what you cannot have and should not fight for. I'm not gonna tell you that you cannot have nice things in the richest, most powerful country in the world. I'm not gonna tell you that we've gotta make peace with the corporations who nickel and dime us at every turn, and that if they want something, we gotta go on and give it to them. I'm not gonna tell you any of those things. And if you've been watching, they've taken to calling me dangerous. Now, I don't know why you would call somebody who looks like me with a name like mine dangerous. It's an interesting adjective to use. Nobody's ever called somebody who looks like me dangerous. So I just want to ask, if you're a child forced to breathe at the end of a smokestack, you think they think I'm dangerous? Or a kid sitting in the back of the classroom who couldn't see the blackboard, who got that first pair of glasses. If you're that kid, I'm not dangerous. If you're a worker who wants our economy to work for you, I'm not dangerous. If you're somebody sitting in medical debt, wondering what your financial future is because you deigned to see a doctor in the richest, most powerful country in the world, if you're that person, I'm not dangerous. If you're somebody who wants government to work for you, I'm not dangerous. I might just be the one person running for US Senate who actually wants to serve you. But if you're the CEO of DTE, you damn well better believe I'm dangerous. If you're Blue Cross Blue Shield shareholders, yep, I'm dangerous. If you're a corporation wanting to buy a politician with their PAC, I'm dangerous. If you're AIPAC and want to send our money abroad, you damn well better believe I'm dangerous. If you're Chuck Schumer and want to keep doling out corporate money to elect people who are going to do your bidding, I am so damn dangerous. But if you're somebody who wants government to work for you, I aim to be the best friend you ever had. Now look, I told you, my childhood taught me just how blessed I was to be on the other side of an accident of history that had me born here. And earlier this month, we commemorated the 250th anniversary of this country. And it's been a moment of reflection, I think, for a lot of us, particularly considering who was president in this moment. Now, they want to sell us a fake, phony sense, a cartoon of what America is. America's no cartoon. America is an incredible place with flaws. A history of Indian removal, chattel slavery, the far too long fight for women's suffrage, the discrimination on who could immigrate here, Jim Crow, segregation. And as you reflect on those past 250, I think it's important for us to ask, how do we make sense of those flaws? America has one incredible gift, and that is the indelible capacity to correct. In this country, we don't make peace with our demons, we exercise them. In this country, we don't rest on our laurels, we fight for better. In this country, we don't ignore a sordid past, we assure a better future. But this country doesn't correct on its own. It's not just some magical trick that just happens, like a magic eraser. That's not how it works. It's because people come together to do the work of correcting. And usually they start out as a small group of people, denied by everyone, ignored, told to go away, marginalized, told it could never be better. And yet those people work, and they organize, and they build. And they build more movement. They talk to more people, and soon enough, the ranks swell. People come together, people from all walks of life, from the unlikeliest sources to the people affected most, building together that movement of people that finally uses the democratic process to correct our ills. And my friends, I share this right now at this moment of our 250th anniversary because we need that correcting right now. We live in the most unequal time in American history. It's easier to make a second $1 billion in this country than it is to make a fair living. Racism still denies too many people access to a good education, good health care, fair housing, clean air, drinkable water. People are still living in fear just because of who they love or how they identify. People are told they're less than because they pray the wrong way or they don't pray at all. And so America is in need of that correcting now. And we find ourselves at the precipice of a moment of correction. I just want you to understand the stakes of this moment. $50 million. $50 million and counting. That's how much the likes of DTE and Chevron and Exxon and Big Pharma and Big Tech and Big Health Insurance and APAC have already spent in this race. And we're still winning. Because friends, what they don't understand is that if all they got is money, we've got the many. And we've got the thing that has corrected every single error in the past and will correct the future. We've got a movement of people coming together beyond our differences to build together what we cannot have alone. We've got each other. Folks who may never understand the lives that one another lead, locking arms together to say that we will not have our future dominated by the likes of your big tech company to put a data center in our backyard. We will not accept the idea that in this country we're gonna buy tanks and bombs for someone else when our own kids don't have health care. We will not accept the idea that you can come in and tell us that we cannot breathe clean air when we have all the technology we ever needed. And so I want us to remember that while they will bring all of their money and all of their power, that it is our choice to remain undaunted, that we will not back down. When they tell us we can't have health care, we won't back down. When they tell us that they're gonna raise our electricity rates, we won't back down. When they tell us they wanna put that data center in our backyard, we won't back down. When they tell us that they wanna take our tax dollars and give them there, when we've got kids who need them here, we won't back down. When they tell us we can't have union representation, we won't back down. When the billionaires tell us we can't tax them, we won't back down. And when they bring $50 million into this race, we won't back down. We will continue to do the work of democracy. We will go out there and knock those doors and make those phone calls and be undaunted at the polls. We will build a movement that connects to the love and the joy of the future we deserve rather than the sordid past we've had. And when they tell us that we're not enough,